Your body listens to your thoughts. This is an experiment, the results of that few know about. Our physical presence, our physical state, our body. It sounds it sounds heavy, but it's really the reality. The delightful thing about this reality is that it is a reflection of our own selves. Because it adapts and is the object and result not only of our actions, but mainly of our thoughts, moods, decisions, and even our imaginations. Psychosomatic is what happens to you, we all say. But apart from us, this is also said by research from prestigious universities and recognized scientists, which prove that we have the power to use our mind and imagination to achieve amazingly beneficial results in our body, in our external appearance, and consequently in our psychology as well. The mind trains the body. Scientists have tried for decades to find the best way for a body to acquire strong, well-shaped muscles. The fact was, if you don't sweat, you don't see results. But when it came time to investigate the real role of the brain in muscle development, the scientific establishment received a severe shock. A study conducted by Bishop's University in Quebec, Canada, focused on 3 groups of people. The first followed the usual life, the second exercised 3 times a week, training a specific muscle, and the third simply listened to instructions through headphones, performing the exercises of the second group with the imagination. I remember when I was taking yoga lessons at Jack LaLanne in New York, I was taking yoga at lunch breaks, and our instructor was telling us, he was from India, and he says, even if you can't move and you see somebody else doing the exercises, it'll be as if you're doing them yourselves. Isn't that something? Just observing someone else doing it. But going back to this, as it turned out, the first group had no effect. The second group increased the strength of that particular muscle by 28%. And the third group, who simply imagined that they were exercising, strengthened the muscles by 24%. They eventually concluded that experiential experience, and imagined energy have exactly the same effect on behavior and the brain. So this confirms what the yoga instructor was telling us. Anyway, going back to this, that is, whether you do something in your imagination or do it for real, the body reacts in the same way. Go to work like you go to gym. According to psychologist, researcher, and Harvard University professor Ellen Langer, if someone considers their daily work as an exercise that benefits their health, they will see their organic condition improve. In the psychologist's pioneering study, the scientists explained to half of the cleaning staff of a large hotel that the daily tasks they did were what their bodies needed to become healthier, while they did not give any corresponding information to the rest of the workers. 4 weeks later, the informed maids lost weight, lowered their blood pressure and blood fat percentage, lost points in the waist area, and lowered their body mass index, in contrast to the other half of their colleagues who showed no physical changes. So that's 4 weeks later. How did this happen? It's just that the first ones believed that their work was capable of bringing about positive changes in their bodies. As it turns out, the women's brains responded wonderfully to the new perspective it was given. According to Ellen Langer, perceptions change your body and your weight. If you think you're exercising, your body can respond as if it's actually working out. I don't think the world has realized how profound the effect of the mind is on our physical state. Return to youth. At the beginning of 2010, the results of a strange experiment, which until now remained hidden, came to the surface. The experiment was carried out in 1979 by the same psychologist. A number of elderly people were divided into 2 groups and taken into an isolated retreat outside Boston. The first group lived in an artificial environment where time had gone back 20 years, to 1959. Participants were asked, pretending to act and talk, as if they were living in the time when they were 20 years younger. Inside their shelter, they listened to music and watched movies from that period, talked about Castro, Havana, and the launch of NASA's first satellite. A week later, the group of seniors who revealed their younger selves literally felt it again. One man threw his walking stick away, another was ready to play football, and everyone carried their bags by themselves. Langer's measurements showed that all parameters of the elderly's health in this group, which had gone back in time, had improved more than those in the second group. Their memory, cognitive abilities, speed of walking, dexterity, vision, and hearing were remarkably renewed, while arthritis was reduced and blood pressure was lowered. Dr. Langer published the data from the study in 1981 in an abbreviated fashion, fearing, as a young academic at the time, that it would be rejected. After 30 years of continuous research on the mind-body connection and now possessing the confidence of a recognized Harvard professor, she decided to expose all the facts. Her take on aging is, quote, by encouraging the elderly mind to think as if it were younger, the body follows and becomes younger, end quote. Quote, it's psychosomatic, end quote. We say, and in the minds of most people, this finding has a negative connotation. The good thing is that it is in our hand, and especially in our mind, in the way we think, in our priorities and desires, that the psychosomatic process has a positive sign and result. Say it, believe it, and it will be done. If it comes from your soul and your mind supports it, your body has no other choice. It will obey and implement. If you think you are old, you're old. If you think you are young, you are young. If you believe you have powers, you can do the impossible. If you believe you have no powers, it's impossible to do anything. Think, decide, and do. Your body doesn't listen to anyone else, only you. And this I've translated for you from a Greek article. Please leave your comments. Thank you for your support. So basically what our yoga instructor was telling us has been confirmed by psychologists. So obviously they knew what they were talking about. Kindly support my Patreon account. The daily posts are 5 videos daily, and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box below.